Welcome back. The 159th session of the Arab League Council at the level of permanent representatives wrapped up on Wednesday at the League headquarters in Cairo under Egypt's presidency. Many files actually were discussed during this important meeting, whether we're talking about economic files, political, social, and also it was topped by the Palestinian cause, Yemen and Syria. Well, over the phone, we have with us Ambassador Hussein Haridy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Ambassador.
Good morning, madam.
So first of all, I'd like to shed the light on the important issues that were discussed during this important meeting.
Well, I guess this is the ordinary meeting, it's the semi-annual meeting of the Council of Ministers of the Arab League, the Arab foreign ministers, before the regular Arab summit. And it was presided by Egypt. Egypt would exercise the chairmanship from today till next September. The next session of the Council of the Arab League on the level of the foreign ministers. Secondly, I guess the agenda included, of course, as you said, the Palestinian issue and the Israeli policies in the West Bank, actually. And on the other hand, other topics, whether political issues or economic, social questions. These are routine questions that are always on the agenda of these meetings. One of the things that, of course, caught our attention in yesterday's meeting was what the Secretary General of the Arab League said when talking about the earthquake in Syria and Turkey. He said that this earthquake has shown that the Arab League as an institution, as a regional organization, does not have the mechanism to deal with such natural disasters. So, and on the other hand, he said that the budget of the Arab League should be increased in order for the Arab League, for this important Arab organization, to shoulder its responsibilities.
Right. Actually, the session is being held amid recent clashes, actually, in the West Bank. So how did the ministerial meeting tackle recent Israeli violations? And how can we join the Arab action to stop such violations?
Well, of course, these are two separate questions. How the meeting of yesterday dealt with the daily targeting of Palestinians by the Israeli occupation forces, and the other was how the Arab would deal with such violation of international law and the Geneva Convention. As far as the first point is concerned, of course, as expected, the meeting condemned the targeting of Palestinians by the Israelis. But concerning the second question, this is a very complex issue, and it's up to the next Arab summit to decide on the best way forward as to how to respond to the Israeli policies in the West Bank right now. And the next Arab summit, I would hasten to add, would be the first Arab summit to be convened after the formation of the present Israeli government. So we are waiting for the next Arab summit, madam, to see what decisions, what positions the Arab heads of state would take concerning the policies of the present Israeli government.
But do you think there are certain measures to be taken or efforts to be taken also if you are talking about how to insinuate the international community to take effective position in this respect?
Well, my personal take on this issue is before asking the international community to take measures, the question is what the Arabs would do, what the Arab governments would do, particularly those governments who either are normalizing their relations with Israel or are thinking of normalizing their relations with the Jewish state. So it's incumbent on the Arab side to take measures, to take forceful measures to meet the challenges that this Israeli government has presented to the Arab world in general and to the Palestinians especially.
Well, as we can see, we are facing many different challenges on all levels, whether we are talking on the political level, economic level, or social level. And I think now it is quite clear to everyone the collaboration of the Arab is something essential. And with this collaboration, many things can change in the region. How do you see this?
Well, I guess the Arab governments have recognized the need and the importance of pooling their resources and their efforts collectively to deal with the challenges, whether they are political, economic, or social. Of course, now, I personally speaking, I guess we are facing two immediate challenges. The first one, of course, how to protect the Palestinian people in the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. This is a top priority for the Arabs as far as I'm concerned. And the second one, how to alleviate the financial and economic consequences of the war in Ukraine on some Arab governments.
Right. Also, amid the economic challenges facing the world, the meeting addressed the challenges and tried to support Arab economies as well. So talking, for example, about the support given to Syria, and as you mentioned, we have the natural disasters, the recent earthquake that hit Syria, and a chance to be back actually to the Arab League. How do you see this, and how do you see the future after all what is going on in the region?
Well, I guess, of course, as far as the earthquake in Syria is concerned, I guess Arab governments have provided assistance, whether financial or humanitarian, including Egypt, to the Syrian people. But as the Secretary General of the Arab League indicated yesterday, the Arab governments and the Arab League should study what is the most appropriate mechanism to set up within the Arab context to deal with natural disasters. So it remains to be seen how the next Arab summit would deal with this issue.
There was also a talk about the need for all foreign troops, fighters, and mercenaries to withdraw from the Arab countries within a defined period of time.
When discussing the situation in Libya, this point was raised and was dealt with. And of course, this is a reaffirmation of the Security Council resolution on the situation in Libya. And of course, yesterday, the agreement between the Libyan House of Representatives and the Libyan State Council, the higher State Council in Tripoli, the Arab League, the Arab foreign ministers welcomed the adoption of the 13th amendment, constitutional amendment, that would pave the way for the elections, the much hoped for elections, parliamentary and presidential elections in Libya. So let's hope that by next September, when the next Arab foreign ministers meeting will take place, the elections in Libya will have been held, and Libya would enjoy a representative, legitimate government that would deal with other issues like, of course, the withdrawal of foreign forces, military advisors, the disbanding of militias, of our militias, unifying the state institutions, unifying the Libyan army. So we remain hopeful that in the next few months, due, of course, thanks to the efforts by the United Nations representative in Libya, that elections would be held at long last.
Whenever we're talking about political issues, now we can never separate the political from the economic. Both must move in parallel lines. So talking about the important economic files as well that were mentioned.
Well, I'm afraid, madam, I'm not an expert in economic affairs. So I beg your indulgence not to. I'm not in a position to discuss this issue.
Right. We were talking about many different files that were discussed. So after this meeting, what do you expect? I mean, do we have recommendations? Do we have some important points that we are going to start to work on to face all the challenges we are facing in the region?
Well, madam, this is, as I said earlier, madam, this is a routine meeting. This is an ordinary meeting. As you said, the charter of the Arab League, of the State of Arab League, has said that the Arab ministers would convene twice. That the Council of the Arab League would convene twice, once in March and the second time in September of every year, to discuss questions that are important and are of interest to Arab countries. So this was an ordinary meeting, and hopefully the recommendations or the decisions that it has adopted would be, of course, brought to the attention of the Arab heads of state when the next Arab summit would take place in Saudi Arabia.
Right,
Ambassador. Thank you very much.
Ambassador Hussein Haridy, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you very much for joining us.